Hello out there, and taking a quick look today at a number of new release Spydercos, and we're going to start with the Sprint Run Manix 2, and this one is in the CPM Cruwear and has the smooth G10 handle scales, and it is exclusive to knifecenter.com. And the bad news, guys, before I go any further, is that the first run of these, it seems, is already sold out on Knife Center. I believe that they're starting to ship now, but the good news is that the people at Knife Center have said that they're trying to get a second run of these in. So if you are interested in this model, definitely swing over to their website, and if they do have a waiting list or a pre-order, get on that right now, because these went fast the first time, and they're probably going to go fast again if they ever do get back in stock. But taking a look at it, the Manix 2 is just a really excellent platform. As you know, there are a ton of sprint runs already out there. The big appeal for a lot of people with this will be CPM Cruwear. It's a steel that I'm honestly not very familiar with. I think I've used it on one or two models over the past couple of years, but never really have wanted to pay the premium that the sprint runs have on the secondary market. And so yeah, it's just never been something that has had too much interest for me. But again, I know there are a lot of people who are into their steels who love the stuff and speak very highly of it. But for me, the real appeal and the interest came to these G10 handle scales, because I never really understood why Spyderco would go with smooth G10 ever when the G10 that they usually use on their American-made knives is so good. And I'm talking about just that peel ply stuff that we have on the paramilitary 2s and 3s. And you're not really going to be able to see the texture on this because of the jade color of these scales, but you can hear just that high traction that I really like. It's really good for a knife that you're planning on using, and you know, it stays in the hand and is really good and grippy. And I was worried, you know, that maybe these smooth G10 scales just wouldn't be nearly as good, and it just it's not really that at all. I mean, they have a very nice feel to them, and they're not slick, you know, so it just has this added kind of, maybe classiness is the word. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it just gives it a new dimension as far as looks go that the other G10 models from Spyderco don't have. And it's still going to be excellent in hand because the Manix is a wonderfully ergonomic design. And yeah, you don't really sacrifice much, but you do have something that's just a little bit unique to the model. So I like that. I like that a lot. And honestly, I just like getting a Manix back in my hands. It's been a while since I've had one, and I really do like the ball bearing lock. It's super smooth. I mean, dropping shut for the most part right out of box. So pretty much on point there. And yeah, if you're not familiar with the Manix, it just has a lot going for it. You know, it's one of those really good robust user kind of knives, and honestly, if I were to put it next to the paramilitary 2, you do have maybe a slightly lesser like blade shape and length, or blade length, but overall, if I were going to pick one to be a hard user, I think I'd definitely go with the Manix. It just has a lot going for it, and like I said, it is just fantastic in hand in so many different grip configurations. A great knife to pick up and use. So definitely would recommend that. Overall, the platform is a great one, but yeah, if you're interested in that sprint run, check it out at Knife Center if they have it available. The other two that came in, one of them, well actually they're both Dragonflies. A few new Dragonfly variations have come out. The first one is a Wharncliffe one, and this is not a sprint. This is a permanent addition to the line as far as I know. And yeah, it's about time. A couple years ago, the Wharncliffe Delica came out, and I figured that immediately they would do the Endura, the Dragonfly, a few others. Now I'm guessing they'll eventually do the Endella. But it took a while. You know, it took a while for them to make that move to the Endura, and even longer to get the Dragonfly out. But it just makes sense, and it's a smart thing for them to do. I don't think, and I'll bring in the other Dragonfly that I have here, I don't think that that you're going to see too much of a cutting performance difference between the two different blade shapes. I think for what you're going to use a Dragonfly for, you know, either one of these blade shapes is going to work out pretty well for you for most light EDC tasks. But now at least there's the option of going with the Wharncliffe version versus, you know, just your traditional leaf-shaped kind of blade. I really do like the Wharnies. I don't think that Visually, it's as attractive as the leaf-shaped blade, but it does have its own kind of character, that's for sure. This version isn't VG10, but I'm sure that we will be able to see sprint runs and different versions of it in the future, as we have with the Delica version. So yeah, I'm sure there is a lot more to come when it comes to that. But again, it's just Spyderco making a very sensible move forward to give more options to the people who purchase their products. So I definitely support that. The next one is another example of that, because here we have the Teal Dragonfly. And this one, guys, keep your eyes posted for where this is going to come from, because I don't even know. This is exclusive to a distributor, I think, but I don't think they have an actual place where it's going to be for sale yet. Or if they do, it hasn't been announced, because I haven't seen this knife anywhere quite yet. So this is the Teal Dragonfly. You might remember there was a Teal Delica a few months ago, maybe like last year sometime. And what Spyderco has done here to make this even more appealing than just a color change is that they've upgraded the steel. So the Teal Delica, if you remember, was in VG10, but this one here is in S30V. So we have an S30V Dragonfly. I don't know that there's ever actually been an S30V Dragonfly at all before, so there is definitely that appeal that you have the upgraded steel for anyone who isn't a big fan of VG10. And also, the price point on this, I think, is going to be in like the $70 to $75 range. So just a really, really good and fair price for what is going to be an exclusive. And again, sprint run maybe, but who knows how many and how long they're going to have a knife like this in stock. But let's just get the two Dragonflies back together next to each other. You can check out, again, the differences in the blade shape, but they feel exactly the same in hand, because even up to where like that grind line is, they are identical. So I mean, this feels exactly the same as this. There is a third new Dragonfly that you might be aware of with the Emerson opening, and I had zero interest in picking that knife up. The look of the Emerson Wave kind of thing, it doesn't do anything for me, and I never ever need to open a knife that way. So yeah, I didn't have any need to go forward getting it. Didn't have any buddies who wanted it either, so sort of passed on that one. But these two do have a lot of interest for me, and yeah, I'm thinking I will probably end up picking one of these up myself, because it's been a while since I actually owned a Dragonfly. So yeah, really, again, impressed, like I said in a video a couple weeks ago, just about what Spyderco does and the smart moves that they make to give the consumer things that they'll be interested in that also help them make money. When Spyderco makes decisions like this, everybody wins. You know, and obviously stuff like this, like if they sell out that fast, it means they're doing something that people want. And even if you're not a collector, if you've never had a Dragonfly, now you have a choice between blade shapes, and who can argue with that? So that's what we have, guys. A few new Spydercos that I thought you might want to take a look at. Any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know down below. How do you feel about the Teal one? Because for me, I didn't really think it was going to be any kind of game changer when they released it with the Delica, and then every time I saw this color in pictures, I was just, man, super impressed. Really wanted to get my hands on it. And yeah, now that I have this Dragonfly in front of me, it is it's going to be a hard one to let go, that's for sure. So I appreciate you watching. Take care, and I will talk with you soon. Have a good one.